Hello, hello, hello! Welcome and well met. Welcome to the stream. Today is a drawing stream. I'm hopefully going to finish off my drawing Cosmic Sea, so let me get into it. Alright, and... Oop. Alright. Oh gosh, thank you, Throat, for deciding to become Scritchy right now at the beginning of the stream. Yeah. Right out loud. Okay, so I have the girly here. You might remember her from a couple of weeks ago. I need to grab this. So, little buddy, you get to stay for once. Little floaty dude. You know what? Actually, let me scooch over. Now you can see more of you. Aren't you happy about that? Okay, I need to set up my view here. Let me move this over. Can I see that everything okay? Okay. Can I shrink this window? Can I shrink this window? No, I can't. Okay. I just need to move it over. Alright. And clickety clack. I don't know why I have a tendency of just bringing objects to the screen and then just make a bunch of noise. But here we are! Okay. So it's like overall shading. I might not keep this actually. Okay. What to do? Okay. I forget that you can use clipping on the folders. That is in fact a thing you can do. Stick here. Yes, you can go in there. Like, do I want to put the lines in or not? I don't think so. Okay. Now, if I go like this and say, make that go clippy, you can just be like, and it only colors on what's in the folder. Woo! I didn't know that for the longest time. Let's see. This is the effect layers. I don't think it pops up on your chords. I've been using it. Oh yeah, multiply. We're crying out loud. Multiply. Why is that hard? Okay, yeah, that's gonna work just fine. This color's actually pretty good. Ooh. I certainly don't want it to be colored like that, though. Oh, where did my cat go? There was a kitty rocking nearby. Oh, you went over there. Okay. I'm like, I'm not going to accidentally kick you. Like, move a bit and then whop into cat and have my cat look at me like, why do you betray me? And I'm like, I didn't know you were there. I'm sure we've all had, if anyone anyone who's had pets has, small pets. The tripping hazard size has had that happen, and just have them look at you with that look. You know the look. And you're like, I'm sorry, I'm the worst person in existence, because you genuinely feel bad. Yeah. Now I have an urge to give this girly a pufferfish. It's like talking about pets. I'm like, I want to give her a pet pufferfish. Magical floating in the air pufferfish. Oh boy. I'm going to be doing, if you couldn't tell already, just doing some shading. Yeah, I got the same music as I used last time for this drawing. I do have it noted in the description, kind of nearish to the bottom. Because that's just kind of where I ended up putting it. Putting the order of things. It's like everything is important, but no, is this slightly more important? Is that slightly more important? All the little intricacies of doing things. Yep. That's what I've... Just like... when you're like a teenager, you know how things work, and like if you had a multiple choice question thingy test, you could pass it, but if it was essay, you wouldn't do as well. Like you could pass like the multiple choice question about like life things, just, you know, the life tip kind of things, like is this a good thing to do or a bad thing to do kind of stuff, you know, something that feels very general. You don't need the details or necessarily like textbook kind of fact kind of things. I feel like a lot of teenagers would pass that, but if it was like an essay, a lot of teenagers wouldn't. They'd still pass, but it'd be like with a C instead of like 100. That's kind of how life be. Like, sure, you know on paper how this works. You could answer the question properly. There's quite another thing actually doing it. You see descriptions of things all the time, but then it's like, when you actually need to make one, you start realizing, sure, it's not the hardest thing to do, but it's like, oh, what am I going to do? I have to decide this and that, and it's like all these little decisions. I suppose figuring out the nuances to life is how you become an adult, not just in body. At least that's what I think. Which is a weird tangent to go on, but here we are. I imagine my girly here is older than she's probably older. I still love her smug little face. She's having a good time. She knows what she's at. Like, she knows who she is. She's so smug. She's having a good time. I like smug characters that are nice, but like they'll be helpful in the most annoying way possible. They're absolutely the type of people who will say, you'll ask them, can you pass that over here? And then they'll go no while they hand it over. You know, those kind of people. They'll help you out, but they're going to be a little brat about it. And not the kind of like whine, well, maybe not brat, because that kind of makes one think of bratty, like whiny, but more of they're just going to be annoying about it. Like, they honestly don't mind helping. It's just in their personality to be kind of annoying. That's what I feel like the girly here is. A lot of sarcastic remarks. This magical girl show, everyone be like, why are you like this? Why do I get the feeling if she was in a magical girl show with a personality like that, she'd be like a fan favorite? Why do I get that feeling? Yeah, I already did some of the shading on this skin, so... I should probably not focus too much on the skin. The skin usually has... It's... The shading is a little more involved. So, eh. Hello, kitty. You just can't sit still today, can you? Kitty. Nope. At least she purred at me a little... Wait, what was it called? A trill. She gave me a little trill. Sometimes I talk to my cats and they don't acknowledge me at all, and I'm like, rude. You don't have to listen to me, but you can at least say, like, yeah, I heard you, but I'm choosing not to listen. I'd be like, fair enough, you are a cat. my kitty is polite, sort of, most of the time. Oh boy. Do. I don't know why I'm being careful about the hair, because I'm going to want to color this too. What am I doing? The shade on this. Probably not the lock that's flowy now, but... Maybe oh, okay. You know, I was thinking this was a bit light. So now make it darker. Now, yeah, that's good. Wait, what? Why is that getting colored? Oh, she has a ruffle. She has a ruffle there. Okay. This little corner, like little section of the drawing is just so complicated that I lose track of the lines. Man, was I happy to color that, because it's a lot easier to distinguish the shapes when they're colored. Oh, hello, Fru. Sorry, it's just like right now, the only thing that's going through my mind is Octopath Traveler stuff. I know I finished it a bit ago, but I'm like, I wish there was more. Thankfully, there's actually quite a few people writing stuff and making pictures and things. The fandom is pretty nice. I'm hesitant to use the word fandom. But, I guess I'll just say the fans. The fans of the series are quite creative. I actually, because we have 2 groups now. Oh, hello, Alice. We have 2 groups with, the Octopath Traveler 1 group. Because I guess I'm going to talk about Octopath Traveler. I guess that's too off topic. If there's Octo in the name, I'm drawing a vaguely sea-themed girl. It's working. I don't care. This is what I'm talking about. May not be what people sign up for, but that's what's on my brain, and I'm too tired to deal with it right now. But yeah, I found someone. I should have probably remembered their name, but I don't. But it was just somebody had like, okay, it's not just for swapping personalities, but like, if the thief from Octopath Traveler 1 ended up swapping bodies with the thief from Octopath Traveler 2, so it's Throne from 2 and Therian from 1, and it was hilarious because suddenly Throne is like, it's just like, isn't speaking very much, is much more covered up, and it's just sort of like, I don't want to be here. And then just acting skills got a lot better, which Trone's not a good actress, which made me laugh. Made sense of this one little travel banter that I haven't seen myself, but a fan made a comic. It was really silly. It was, I guess the premise was Temenos trying to give Throne some tips of how acting more nun-like. You know, given that he is an Inquisitor, he's a cleric, he's met a lot of nuns, and he's like, you could do better acting. And her performance was very stilted. Therian, on the other hand, is very good at acting. So suddenly it just has Temenos going like it's like, may the sacred flame guide you, and then Temenos is looking at her going, wow, your acting's really good. I'm concerned. How? Why? And I'm just dying of laughter, but then there's Throne, who's immediately just spends all of Therian's money to get new outfits, and then goes and dress up, oh, who was it? Was it Alphen? It was one of the guys. I can't really remember. Clearly it's not Therian himself, because Throne dressed him up. I don't think it was Ulbrich. Oh yeah, Cyrus. It's either Cyrus or Alphen, I don't remember which one right now. But it was really funny. It was so funny. Yeah, and they did I think they've done everyone swapped at this point, or maybe they haven't gotten to one. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't sat down, like, did they get all 8? But it was pretty funny, so. The first one I saw of them doing was, oh, who was it? Oh, yeah, it was the Warriors. So it was Hikari and Ulbrich. It was so dumb. Because it has Ulbrich, who's just a beef wall of a man. Absolute wall. Can't take a hit. He's huge. He's very much the tank of the group. And he's stuck in little tiny lithe Hikari's body, and Hikari doesn't have the weight to take the hit. And I was laughing. And then on Hikari's side, he's just like, whoa, I'm buff. I'm like, why is that so in character? And I was just dying of laughter. Metaphorically speaking, of course, but it was very silly. So yeah, if you look in the Octopath Traveler tags, you might find them. It was all very silly, and I very much enjoyed it. Very much enjoy the other works of fellow creatives. I wish I paid more attention to the names so I could actually remember what they were called. Oh, they were on Tumblr, by the way. I know, it's the cringe site, but I'm like, it's actually pretty chill as long as you know, like, where to stay. Like look, if you follow drama people magnets, you're still gonna get drama on Tumblr. But mostly, it's pretty calm and pretty chill. And, like, maybe stay away from some of the more popular things. People are not chill in a very different way. Yeah, just stay safe, people. But yeah, Octopath, at least, is fairly calm and tame and stuff. There's a lot of good artworks, which makes me happy that Octopath still gets more and more people seeing and playing it. I should probably do... I still want to draw, just like standalone drawings. But at least a few of my favorite characters. Or the characters I liked more. Obviously Temenos. If you couldn't tell, I like the smug people. Who are nice smug people. I don't like, you know, the school bully smug people. Oh gosh, I hate them so much. Which I think is rather humorous. It's like, oh, you like the smug people, you really hate them, you must really love the mean girls. I'm like, oh no, I hate their guts. And then it's just like, what? I'm like, I don't like mean-spirited people. But if they're smug but nice about it, then I'm like, yeah, they're smug. What of it? I guess that's why I like Castor Gilgamesh over his other iterations in Fate, because he's another very smug character. He actually has some ability. He actually can back up his smugness, though. It is Gilgamesh, after all. But I don't like him in most iterations because he's, well, pardon my language, but he's definitely the magnificent bastard trope. It's like, yeah, he's cool, I still don't like him, but my gosh, if he isn't a magnificent bastard. Castor Gil still has that energy, but he's not much, just without the, like, the jerkiness. Like, he may say kind of rude things, but, like, he means it, he means well. He's not good at speaking to common folk. I feel like there's some meta commentary there. But yeah, I am rather fond of Castor Gil. He's good. From Fate Grand Order, in case anyone needs the series name. They're sitting there going, what? Who? Look him up. He's from Fate Grand Order. Yeah. My girly here definitely beats some magical girl. I haven't seen, actually, a lot of magical girl things. I mean, I like Cardcaptor Sakura. I know of, like, some of the older... What was it? I think, yeah, they were 80s? I don't think they were 70s. I think they were in the 1980s. Magical girl shows of... It was Creamy... Oh yeah, Creamy Mommy and Minky Momo. And that's some interesting history there, especially, what was it? Minky Momo? Yeah. Oh yeah. I think his... Oh, what was he? I've mentioned him before. I think it's Kenny Lauderdale. If you type in Minky Momo, you probably get a video about a guy named... That's Kenny... We'll call Kenny, and it's like a video essay kind of thing. He goes over old anime. Usually a pretty... Look at this cool old anime puzzle-like, but there are some of them where he's like, this is just bad. And it's also kind of... It's also, well, maybe not funny per se, but entertaining because he's just very mad. I guess it's the easiest way of, and most shortest way to put it. I'm not sure if he's actually mad, but you know, just not happy about this. It's fun. But I do kind of want to see if I can watch an episode or two. Because it just sounds silly, I guess. Maybe not silly. How to put it? Like, even if they cover more serious topics, it's always somehow the most, like, light-hearted way they can, if that makes any sense. Like, they're not taking it not seriously. Maybe they're not handling it the best. Like, maybe the execution could use a little more work, but you know, like, they mean well. It's that kind of show. And I'm like, I kind of want to watch this. Though, of course, I'm speaking of this guy, and there's always one thing that it always reminds me of, and that is Golden Bat. I think that's the most I've rewatched some of his videos. And that's definitely easily the one I've watched the most. I just love the video, just the whole history of Golden Bat just amuses me to no end. And just the whole concept of this golden skeleton man, of this ancient sorcerer. He's just indestructible and can power set. Well, it's whatever he needs it to be at the time. Somehow ends up being the most entertaining thing just because of just how zany it is. It's like, it's not taking itself too seriously, and I'm like, and like, half the time the guy, the Golden Bat is just laughing in the face of evil. And I'm just the whole laughter is his tagline. Laughing at the face of evil, and he looks like some villain. Like, in most other, like, kid, well, you know, kid/family shows, he'd probably be the main villain of the story and be one of those, you know, he's silly and camp, you know, I know exactly. If you know Kefka from Final Fantasy, oh gosh, I think it's 6. Yeah, I think it's 6. Terra's in there. I can't think of anyone else who's in that game at the moment. Sorry. Terra's kind of the poster girl. Makes sense, but yeah, it's like everyone has there's really no one set main character. It's just they kind of chose Terra just because she's kind of like the overarching themes are greatly tied to her story, and yada yada, so she ended up being the poster girl. That's pretty much everyone's consensus. Like, everyone has their own right in this game to be could be the face of the series, but we understand why it's Terra. I'm like, I'm glad most everyone's pretty chill about it. Looking it up, I think you talked about him before. He does look evil. Yeah, he looks so evil, but he's the good guy. He's like Superman, but it's like, oh, he's a ripoff of Superman, and I'm like, no, he's before Superman. He's like 5 or 6 years before Superman was a thing. So I'm like, there's no way he's a ripoff, because even if, I'm like, this is also a Japanese created thing, so I'm like, I don't even know how long it took for Superman to get to Japan, or let alone like any sort of fan base in Japan. I haven't the foggiest, but I'm like, yeah, Golden Bat precedes Superman. And if you're like, isn't Superman from the 1930s? And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, he is. Golden Bat is like 1920s. And I was just, dang, that's old. But yeah, the history's pretty fun. If you type in Golden Bat on English YouTube, that should be like one of the first few videos that pops up. I would highly recommend that one. It's very good. Well, I suppose Golden Bat's not gonna be everyone's cup of tea, but you might find something else that's good. Because the person who did the videos, the Kenny Lauderdale, is definitely takes his time. He hasn't made new ones in a while, which kind of little bums me out a little bit, but I'm not going to be like, hey, creative, you need to make more videos for my entertainment. I'm like, I do videos too, and they're kind of a pain in the butt. I can't imagine all the research you have to put in and on top of making the video. So, but you know, I still can't help but be like, I hope he puts out another one. I hope he's doing okay. Put out another video. I would be very much want to try to go look at it. They're fun. I like hearing about old things. Big surprise. Leo Theo likes art history kind of thing. Shocking. It's like I never be quiet about the fact that I like art history or something. But yeah, I absolutely know I've talked about him before in one of my drawing videos, I think. Well, that's probably the most likely place, but yeah. I'm gonna recommend him again because I like the videos. They really are good. Oh right, I was saying that I'm like, I haven't really watched magical girl shows. Like, how to put it? Like, sure, they have the magical girl framework, but they don't have that magical tone. If that makes any sense. And I'm just not here for it, because it's like, great. Like, other genres of anime right now have these really dark themes and tones, and it's not like magical girl shows shied away from it, but they did it in a more, you know, still serious, still taking it seriously manner, but you know, just as like an easier pill to swallow, I guess, to use that analogy. You know, metaphorically speaking. But then it's like, let's make everything feel hopeless, and like, you really, it's just, and suddenly the girls can do the thing so everything's alright at the end because they can, and I'm like, great, they should not have won this. What's been a problem? I don't know, maybe if other people feel like that's been kind of a thing that's been happening. Like, people have been making the stakes in the story so high, like, they just tune out. Because it's like, how would our protagonists get this? Oh, suddenly they get a Deus Ex Machina kind of power, and it's not in the fun way like in Promare. I feel like that's been happening more often. Not everywhere, not everywhere. But, you know, just enough to notice. And it's kind of a bummer. Yeah. I haven't been watching much anime at all. Hello, kitty. I'm gonna touch your head. Yep. You wanna hang out with me in the Mises? Yeah? You hanging out with me in the Mises? One hand drawing, one hand petting cat. All happy. I got a kitty. Ha 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 ha. Okay, now I'm just being silly. I'm sorry. Where did you go? Okay, she's under the... Nope, she's over there. She's a good little kitty. She actually stayed a bit and let me pet her head. Usually when she's wandering around and being restless, she doesn't let me do that. She let me do that. So I'm like, I have been blessed. That kind of feeling. Oh boy. Okay. I wonder if I should do a double layer shadow. So have this layer of shadows, then a darker layer of shadows. Choices. Always these kinds of things. Well, she has a very light color palette. I guess I could try darker, but I might want to keep the shadows fairly light, because I really want, like, the overall color to, like, feel like light. No, not dark. Okay. That came out of nowhere. Good health to myself. I mean, geez, it's a bit nippy today where I am, but I didn't think it was nippy enough to make me sneeze. Apparently it is. Good to know. I'll make myself some tea later, I guess. Hopefully that wasn't too loud either. I hope I didn't just hurt your ears by sneezing. I always get worried if I'm some loud noise and I'm just like, oh gosh. Are you viewers okay? I'm concerned. I didn't blow out your ears, did I? I probably didn't, because I don't... Okay, well, maybe I do keep the volume up. Oh, okay, it was fine? Okay. Well, hopefully no one had their volume up too high. Okay, I'm gonna be sniffly for a second, because I did just sneeze. Yeah. I have been told I have the kitten sneezes. I didn't realize sneezing like a kitten instead of like sneezing like you're gonna blow the roof off your house was so uncommon, but giving everyone's reaction to be, oh my gosh, you have the kitten sneeze! I'm like, I guess it is? I didn't think so. I definitely wasn't always like this, but there was, I don't want to say the specific reasons. It's nothing all that special, but I'm like, personal detail, I'm not saying. But I had reason for, like, if I sneezed really hard, just not bad per se, but like annoying consequences would ensue. So I purposefully went out of my way to figure out how to sneeze, which I guess functionally ended up being more cutely, because then that wouldn't happen, so that's why I sneeze the way I do. It's a purposeful thing, and now I've just been doing it that way for years. But yeah, I intentionally tried to figure out how to do that, like hold back sneezes. And now it's just something I do without thinking. But I wasn't always like that, so I guess you too can learn how to sneeze like a kitten. That's such a weird thing to say, but here we are. Oh boy. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna just be sniffly every now and then because I just sneezed. Yay! Working on the bow. This is taking longer than I thought it would. But then again, I wasn't thinking about how detailed this design was, so that's on me. Gosh. I wonder if there's been a VTuber out there that sneezed and then everyone was really surprised about how loud they sneezed. I wonder if that's happened. I guess statistically speaking it probably has, but I've not heard of it. Just random curiousness about it. Okay. Get away. I'm very glad I messed around with layers because I used to manually shade everything, which I still do for the more tricky shading. But man, when it's just really straightforward shading, like on the clothes and stuff, this saves so much time. Like, I'm very happy I figured out the layering, well, what to do this with the clipping the folder down. Well, clipping, I can put a layer over a folder layer and it will work for all the layers below. Because then I have like this overall shading, but then I can go back to like the individual layers and do any kind of like additional shading on like the layer itself or something. It's very nice. I'll definitely say that. It is very nice. Not that I always do it this way. Sometimes I still just grab colors manually and just shade. This is sort of however I feel like. Do I want to spend more time on the shading? Do I not want to spend more time on the shading? Sometimes, because of the color choices, it's easier just to do it manually. Again, I don't really have a set workflow. It's like, oh, have your workflow like this. I'm always changing it. I'm not really one to stick to one thing in particular, I guess. Or like one set workflow. I don't know how to phrase it. Wait, like... I don't like feeling that restricted, I guess. It's the long and short of it. I don't like feeling restricted. Nuh-uh. Like, I just want to do what I want to do. I just want to go. I have in mind what I want to do, and I just want to do it. I have been getting faster, for sure, still, though. While still just drawing as I like. I heard a lot of people say that when you get good at something, the speed will come along with if you do just sort of naturally try a little bit to think, oh, I can do this faster, more efficiently by doing this. That it'll just sort of come with time. So that's why I haven't worried about being too speedy or like having the most effective time, you know, for my time and result kind of thing. So it's like, I'll figure it out in my own time. And I have. It just took me needing to do weekly thumbnails. Which, I guess if people don't read things of posting, I have a link down in my, in the video description below to my Pixiv, and I do put at least, oh, how do I put it? I want to say long form content, but that means like, oh, it can be an hour-long video essay, but I'm like, that's not what I'm meaning. How to put it? The long series, like my Breath of the Wild, or Octopath, or Okami. I've put up the thumbnails on my Pixiv, so if you ever went, oh man, I wonder what how much they drew, you know, like how much I drew to make the thumbnail image, you can just scroll along on my Pixiv. I've usually pretty clearly labeled what is the thumbnail ones. I think except for I didn't make a specific thing saying in the top saying these were Octopath Traveler thumbnails like I did with the other ones though. But still. They're there. I do all my thumbnails myself, including the art, usually in a day or two. After I stream on Friday, I usually end up doing thumbnails. I'm so busy on Friday. I have oftentimes got all my thumbnails done and my stream schedule done on Friday. Yeah, it kind of just takes me all day. I'm just like, I stream, I get like a little snacky snack, and then I'm just doing thumbnails and scheduling until I go to sleep. So yeah, that's how I'm able to get my schedule up most of the time, like on Saturday or Sunday. I'm not doing them throughout the week. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that, but yeah, that's how I do my thumbnails. I can't exactly recommend doing that because there's definitely some people that wouldn't know. Well, I don't think that's something everyone can do, but that's how I operate. I cannot relax until I get my thumbnails in schedule time. I am definitely the type of person who just cannot relax if there's some task or something that I have to do. Like, if I want to relax, I gotta be done with everything. Which is a bit troublesome, but it is what it is. No use crying over what it is not. Okay. Just get the legs and skirt here. probably use the fill tool a little bit more here because the areas are going to be bigger. But there's actually some point into doing using the fill bucket tool. I'll probably shade the pearls separately because as round objects they have a little bit more complex shading too. I might actually end up finishing this off stream because actually I don't think I put it below the video, but I'm only planning on streaming for an hour today and it's getting close to an hour, well thereabouts. Maybe I'll stream longer, I don't know. I wasn't planning on streaming too much longer. I still got like, what, 20 minutes? I'm not gonna go away like in the next 2 minutes. Don't start saying goodbye. I know you little goobers do end up preemptively saying goodbye, and I'm like, I'm not saying bye yet. Little goobers. Silly meesies. But let's see. Shading's not too interesting. And I'm not fast. At least I don't think I'm fast. I actually have no idea how slow or quick I draw. Because most of the time I'm seeing speed paints and well, they're sped up. So I'm like, I don't know if I draw slowly or if I draw really fast. I honestly don't know. It's one of the things that I'd probably have to go in some art Discord and like ask around how long it takes people to do things and like show the results and have people go, oh my gosh, you did all this and what? Or just go, oh no, it's about this, or maybe that's a bit slow. Like I don't know. I hear people doing a lot more impressive things, but they're also like, do this for a living, which I don't exactly do. It'd be cool if I could, but that hasn't worked out. So I do have a commission site for art. So I made it more labor cost kind of thing. So it is a bit more expensive, but I figured I'd do it that way, because for any artists watching, probably have heard the horror stories of how people will cheat a person out of their work because, oh, even though you drew exactly what I asked for and it says that everywhere, you know, this is what I was asking for, I'm still gonna try to get a refund or whatever on my money because I can get the drawing for free if I be enough of a brat about it. You know, that kind of thing. So I'm like, well, you're not paying for the end product. You're paying me for doing something for you. Like how you pay a plumber for their work. Not really so much as, like, the end result, per se. Even though you kind of do. It's like, there's a favorable end result, but you're more of paying for, like, the thing. I'm rambling at this point. But yeah, it's tough being an artist when there's a big crowd just trying to get free stuff. And then you know your stuff is valuable, because people are trying to get it for free. Because then they're like, ooh, look at the big fancy thing I have. But I'm just like, rude. Yeah. But that's a problem. It's kind of annoying just hearing about it, but I haven't worked with enough people. Honestly, I think if somebody was just, they're the kind of people who like ask a bazillion questions and want something really specific, I'd probably just be like, you know what? I don't think I can do that for you. You probably should go find someone more skilled. But they're like, but I want you to draw it. And I'm like, no. I'm like, I don't think I can. I don't have good vibes about you. Yeah. Always check to see the portfolio of the artist you're commissioning. There's definitely some people who are like, why did the... I think, actually, I've mentioned this before, but like, why did the person who always draws cutesy things not draw this cool, edgy thing as well as they draw the cool, cutesy things? It's like, well, they're used to drawing cutesy things. Like, sure, they can clearly draw different things, but they're going to be most experienced and have most of their skills show in drawing cutesy stuff. I mean, you know, there's obviously people who have more varying, in what they can draw and stuff like that. You know, just as an for example purposes. I hope you understand my meaning, but it does kind of baffle me. Just how many people don't go. I'm like, well, what were you expecting? Oh wow, the person who usually draws very stylized isn't exactly the best at realism, unlike some of the other people who draw realism all the time, or more realistic styles, I should say. And just kind of baffling. You'd think it'd be common sense, but apparently it isn't. It's just one of those little things when you have it explained to you, and it just makes perfect sense, and then you're just like, why do people do this? But you also can see why they don't. It's like, I just didn't think of it. It's like, you probably should have, though. I don't know why I'm doing shading. Blurring out the shading. I was gonna do that later, but okay. There's just some amusement I have when people just do things and they're just like, but I thought it was like this. I was like, that's not how it works. There's a lot of that, I guess, lately from what I've been hearing from fellow artists. It's just like, I'm beginning to realize that people are just really ignorant on how art things work. Because that's not how this works. I'm just really? Well, I can kind of understand, though. Just... If you're gonna spend money on something, I strongly recommend at least looking up anything. Like, with your own eyes, with your own merits. I know you might have some people who say, oh, you just need to do this and stuff, but I would still look it up, because it's best to see why they're telling you to do that. Maybe you might find that unfortunately their advice wasn't so good, but you know, always look things up for yourself. It kind of, how to put this in words? Like, it's not like a matter of trust kind of thing, but there's a certain, how you say, I guess it's sort of like you learn. You can see the nuances for yourself. I'm not sure how to put this. But you know, you get something out of it seeing for yourself rather than relying on others just telling you, yeah, just do this. And I'm not sure how to put it into words exactly what that is. And apologies. That's not very helpful, especially I'm like, you shouldn't take people's... You should look up to see if people's words are true, and I'm like, I'm not even saying it in a way that you can look it up yourself. But I guess you get your own experience out of it. Experience it for yourself, and it's a little different from just, like, hearing others say. Even though I guess you're kind of looking it up about what others say, but it's, like, more experienced people. Okay, you know what? This is getting more convoluted than I thought it would be. I'm moving on. I don't think I'm equipped to handle this topic. Clearly. But yeah. I guess the long and short of it is look up things with your own eyes. You might hear about the pros and cons and be able to see maybe a way that works for you better, even. Because hopefully you're the one who knows yourself the best. You know. So you know what will work for you the best. Sometimes you just gotta be honest with yourself. Sometimes that's being brutally honest, and sometimes that's giving yourself a break honest. It really depends on you as a person. Maybe it's a bit of both, who knows? I don't know you guys. I don't know you Mises. And that's okay. I don't have to, though. You can just be like... There's a niceness of just sort of like being acquainted. Like, yeah, I kind of know what this person's like. They're nice. We can talk about just like small talk and nothing too serious. I guess there's just something easygoing about that. And I like being easygoing, where you can just sort of like take a breath, sit down a bit, recuperate, and then be on your way in this hectic, complicated thing we call life. That's kind of my goal. I'm like, I just kind of want to be here and just be a place where you can just sort of sit down, you know kind of what to expect. You know, I'm pretty consistent. I might talk about some more serious things, but it's never like well, hopefully it isn't. I don't think I usually go on topics that are like kind of make it's more serious in that kind of way that may make your skin crawl, but it's like, you know, it's like, I was expecting to have a more serious conversation or topic today, but you know, it's still done in an easygoing, kind of more lighthearted, you know, like the magical girl thing I was mentioning beforehand, where I can't just harder topics, except in a more lighthearted, easier to digest kind of way. That's what I want to be. I want to be a magical girl show. Oh, that's funny. Okay, putting it like that's hilarious. Hold on. I made myself laugh. I'm not one to really laugh out loud all the time. You know, I kind of feel bad about that, because I'll be laughing at something and I'm just telling you guys I'm laughing, but you can't hear me because I laugh quietly or silently, depending on how you want to put it. Not one to laugh out loud always. That's when I really find it funny. I was just like, but you laugh all the time. I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of a nervous laughter. Or I'm like, I'm not trying to be threatening. See, look, I'm laughing. I mean, I'm genuinely doing it because that's how I feel. It's like, I'm not trying to misdirect anyone, but laughing because I find it funny is a bit more rare for me. I was laughing a lot with Temenos, though. I will say that. You want to hear me laugh? Just watch whenever, except for the except for the chapter 3 in Storm Hail. So I guess if you want to see me laugh a lot, just look up me playing through Octopath Traveler with Temenos' chapter 1 and 2, and that's me laughing a lot. Temenos made me laugh a lot. I'm like, he's a good person. You're able to tell this. He's just going to be the sketchiest good person you've ever met in your life. And I'm like, yeah, that's why he's my favorite. It's such a weird character type, but there you go. It's my favorite. It's like how I like a lot of the thief type characters. They have a more personality that's kind of in that ballpark. They're nice. They want to do good, but either circumstance or personality makes it so that you don't always realize they're trying to do good, you know? But I'm like, I do like I guess you would call them the noble thief characters, like, Zidane, the Phantom Thieves from Persona 5. You know, those kind of thief-type characters. Oh, yeah, you know, like Robin Hood, too. You know, just to say, like, probably the oldest one. Gosh, how many centuries old is that story, at least? I can't even remember. It's old, though. Old stories. Maybe not all the parts, but certainly Robin Hood as, what you would say, a folk hero? Yeah, he old. He very old. And just because I mentioned Fate earlier, yes, I like Robin Hood from Fate as well. I'm not kidding. I'm like, If they're actually, like, you could tell they're a nice person, they just sort of happen to be a thief. I like them. It's like I like Throne from Octopath Traveler too. I really like Throne. She's so silly. She gives off that snarky big sister vibe, something fierce, and I'm like, nope, I like Throne. What makes playing through her chapters all the worse, because everyone is so mean to this poor lady. I really hate her final boss. Oh my gosh. I'm pretty sure he's in the #1 slot for like the most disgusting character I've ever seen, and I've seen some horror monsters. I'm like, somehow it's worse? Cause like, it's a monster. It's like, you know, I've seen Resident Evil monsters. They've got some pretty gross character designs. Kind of disturbing and gross and all that. Makes your skin crawl. This guy's still worse. He may not be monstrous in appearance, but oh my gosh, he very much is one. I don't like him at all. I think that's what makes it worse. It's like, on one hand, having the, ooh, scary monster do bad is like one thing, but it's like worse when it's not a big, ooh, big scary monster, or, oh look, I'm in my evil, I'm clearly an evil person kind of thing. It's like, oh no, not this character design. This character design looks like it could be a good person. They're not, not at all. Not at all. And I think that's just sort of what makes it worse. Also, the voice actor did a good job. I'm like, oh my gosh, you sound like a sleazebag. Good job, voice actor. I'm like, you did a little too well, maybe, cause, At least that's how I take it whenever somebody voices characters like that. I'm like, I have to wonder, cause, I have actually gone to see voice actors in Q&As. And one of the Q&As was, they were wondering, they're like, how hard was it voicing this really sleazy character? Because, like, they're really, you know, they're a real piece of work. And the voice actor was immediately, he's like, I'd have to go and take a shower every time after voice acting them. Because, oh my gosh, yeah, I don't like them either. But hey, apparently I did a good job. Everyone was like, oh, sleazy scumbag. So, like, ever since then, I always think about the voice actors. I'm like, how badly do they want to go need to go take a bath afterward voicing a character like this? Ever since I heard that story, I'm always like, oh, the poor voice actor. This is not one of like, oh, I'm the villain, but I can have fun with it because I can be, yes, the word, theatric about it. You know, that's kind of fun, just being theatric, even though it's like, even though you're being the bad guy. But then you have, he was like, yeah, they're a bad guy, they're complete scum, and I wouldn't be voicing them, but, you know, I gotta eat too, and I'm a voice actor, so here I am voice acting them. Just like, oof. You always think about the fun parts about voice acting, but then you gotta be like, well, the sleazebags need voices too. I can imagine some of them are just like, I don't try to think about it much. I just sort of say the words and just go. I'm like, I don't blame you. I too would probably be that way. I'd be like, I'm just not gonna think about it very much, and I'm just doing the lines. If I had to, but when I'm in the game, I'm like, I'm not reading that, and I skipped it over. I'm not sorry. Yeah, I think I'm not gonna stop right away, even though it's been an hour. It took me quite a bit longer to do the shading. Just trying to just like fill in. I need to be smart about this and just like go along the pearls, which I want to do on a separate shade later, which I guess I'll do off stream. Because at this point, it's just gonna be like fussy little details and not too interesting to watch. I mean, this isn't too interesting, I imagine. Watch either, but hopefully me chittering on about this and that is mildly entertaining. Like, I'm just trying to talk about things. So I'm very much... not very head empty, no thoughts. I'm very much just... I had no set plan for this. I'm just talking about whatever. I already had a stream too, so that kind of doesn't help. My poor little brain box doesn't hold enough ocean facts for me to chitter on. That would be a pretty good topic to talk about. Though, I don't know if any of y'all would have heard about a game series called, let's see, Endless Ocean, where you're a diver and you swim down and you can poke at fish and the game will give you information about the fish and stuff. I mean, the first game was pretty... Is this actually... What is going on? Okay, it's not messing up. It's just... Okay. Okay. I'm not messing up my drawing. Okay, where was I? Alright, it's definitely an education game, but more in, less kiddish way, but it's still fun. The second game is definitely better than the first, but they were only able to make the second game. Well, the second game is what they wanted to make from the get-go, the devs, but they just didn't have the funds to do so. But the first game did well enough. They were able to make the second game, so there's only ever been 2 games. They were both on the Wii, I think? Yeah, I think they were both Wii games. I don't think the second one was a Wii U game. Whoa. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but I think they were both on the Wii. Maybe the second one was Wii U. I'd honestly have to go check. I haven't really paid attention. To be honest. It's been a while. I don't really remember. I've played the game a lot. I figured out there was a lot of things like, oh, you have to spend, like, in real life time hours on this, but you're supposed to do it a little bit over time, you know? And then, like, I would go out grocery shopping, but there was, like, an auto run kind of thing, and we just let the game go. It was really funny. But I also liked it because, Endless Ocean, because, for as much when you found a fish, you were able to interact with them, like give them food, you could poke at them, more like in a petting kind of way. Sometimes it was poking. Some of the fish did like to get poked, and I was like, you're a weird little fish, but I guess poking is better than petting, because you get mad at me if I try to pet you. But you do like getting poked. I don't understand. But I don't know, fish things. Well, what am I to know, a little Urion that I am? I'm like, I'm not a fish. What do I know about fish? But yeah, it was fun. It was really fun. So you interact with enough fish, and it would unlock more information. And sometimes it would say legends about the fish, if there was legends around the fish from some part of the world. Other times it was just interesting facts, a little bit of history of how people have been interacting with this type of creature. Like, maybe that this is a very old species. It was really fun. I really liked it. It was absolutely people's nightmares, though, because it is swimming in the ocean. If you don't like deep water, it'll scare you. There was one area, because in the second game, there's different... In the first game, there's different sections, but you're overall in, like, one, what is the word? Archipelago? Archipelago? The word that sounds like that, but means an area. At the very least, I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. I haven't said it in a while. But anyway, so, you know, it was like in a bay, in a small area, you know, it'd be like, there was different parts of the lake, but you were still swimming in the same lake kind of situation, except this was still in a part of an ocean. So I hope that gets the meaning of what I'm trying to mean across. But in the second game, you can go to completely different parts of the world. Like, you can swim off the coast of Egypt. You could go off to someplace in Japan. You could go in the Arctic. So, you know, there was a lot more variety of fish, even though some of those places have so many varieties, you didn't really need to go to different places. But, you know, still. There's penguins. There's actually penguins in the first game. Penguins do go in tropical areas. Because the first game took place in a tropical area, because of course it's where the most fish varieties are. It was pretty good. The first game did earn enough to make the second game for a reason. It had a mystery to it. They're actually partly mystery games, which, you know, it's me. I love me a good mystery game. I like a good detective story. Not noir though. Those tend to be too a little bit like, it's like, sure, some of them can be realistically dark, like, yeah, everyone's on hard times and it's sort of like every man for himself kind of thing, but a lot of times the noir stuff gets so gritty and, you know, in quotes, real, that I'm like, it's actually not realistic, and I kind of just check out. So, but I do like detective stories. I have, what is it? Agatha Christie. I like Agatha Christie works. I have heard enough of them that I don't know about all of them, but I'm like, I've liked quite a few of hers at this point that I've read or have a pretty, you know, it's an adaptation, but it's a pretty faithful adaptation, so if you like the adaptation, you'd like, you know, the unadapted story of Agatha Christie's kind of thing, you know? So you could still say you like Agatha Christie by just these adaptations kind of things, because, you know, they're not one for one, but they're still pretty faithful, if that makes any sense. Hopefully it does. And yeah, I got this Christie. Oh, who was the other writer? I only read one Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes! Whoops, I've been playing too much Great Ace Attorney! Arthur Conan Doyle. I've only read one story. I've mentioned that I have it in two, but I haven't read the second story. It was The Hound of Baskerville, which is referenced in the Great Ace Attorney. I won't say how. It's obviously different. I will say it's very different from how it is in the story, but that's about it. It's also pretty abundantly obvious to anyone who's likes mysteries and knows the source material. They're like, yeah, this is already abundantly different. Gonna be different from the source material, but yeah, if you hadn't noticed from the introduction to the second case, all the cases going out in the Great Ace Attorney are very much named after and take a little bit of influence from Sherlock Holmes stories. So that's kind of cool. There's people who had been Sherlock fans. I mean, like, this actually was like their first Ace Attorney game, because we had Sherlock Holmes in it. Which is original character, do not steal. Oh boy. Okay. Not perfect on the shading. I want to do some of the blurring, but I think that kind of fussiness I will do later. I haven't worked at all on the design. I wanted to put on her skirt to get back to the drawing. Now that I'm not just doing shading. Taking forever to do the shading. Okay, I think I got all the pieces of the skirt selected. Yes, I'm gonna be careful around this bow, make sure I have everything selected. Okay. I need a water break. I want to get the pattern on her skirt, and then I might do some color correcting layers, because I know digital artists use them a bunch. Oh, I didn't get her bonnet. I'll do that later, that's fine. Actually, besides putting the shading on the back of the bonnet, I would keep the front of the bonnet on a different shading layer, because I want to do some, what's it called? Oh, pearlescent, mother of pearl kind of look to it. That kind of stuff on the bonnet, because I have it look like, oh yeah, I wanted to do stripes on the bonnet too. I'm gonna have to do a little more detail work on that. What did you do? Where is it? Where's the brush I want? I think it's, yeah, it's in effects. Okay, no, that's background. I want effect. I was on the wrong thing. Oh, not online. I do not want to be doing this online. Let me get a say. Okay. So, to get that more... Okay, let me take the blue here. Just make a darker blue. Yeah, because this has it like that. If I make it smaller, will it have... Yeah. Okay. Undo that. But it makes me think of like a little... Lots of tiny little stars. That's the fun on the skirt. I'm just like, do I want it small? Do I want it big? I think it would be fun to do this. I'm actually gonna put a little starry pattern on it, but this makes it feel more, if you've ever seen pictures from like NASA where it's really far away, so you see entire galaxies, that's what kind of look this little pattern brush thingy gives me the feeling of. So I wanted to use it. Use this to get some yellow in here. And then maybe on another layer just in case so I can fuss with it. I don't think white's going to work. Oh well, you can kind of see the white because I did make it darker. Well, I say that after I just made it go away, but you can kind of see it. I could make it dark. Do I want to make it dark? No, not really. Okay, we'll have a subtle effect then. Stars. Oh, wait. If I put this on glow... Oh gosh. Nope. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. How about we put the stars on glow? Oh yeah, those are much more noticeable. How did that work? I was actually on white. Huh. How does that work? Make it a little more not so vibrant. But you can actually see that better now. Okay. I can deselect that. Because if I'm gonna select it again. Yeah, look at the skirt! See, isn't that cool? That's actually more or less what I wanted to do. I'm happy. She's got cosmic skirt pattern. It kind of looks like beach sand, too. It works out very well, I think. Okay, now let's do some... probably here. Go to the layers. Let's see. Wait, does this pop-down menu... The pop-down menu's up here. Let me pull over here what my recording is doing. Oop, I can't. Oop. Okay. What is going on? Oh my goodies. Okay. I need to put it here, so when I click this, yes, I can still see what I'm doing. If I click this, will that go? No, these don't show. Okay. I can't remember, what are the pop-down menus? There's one of the menus here that pop down that y'all can see. And I don't know why it shows, for some reason, that group of menus in particular you can see when I use them, but it won't show the other ones. I'm like, shrug. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how to do anything about it, but... Yeah, layer correcting, let's see. There's levels. That's usually pretty good to start off with. I don't think this is showing up. No, it isn't. Okay. You're just gonna see me poke at an invisible thing, okay? Let's see. I think it has, yeah, it does have a preview. Okay, I need to move it. It's now over here. Yeah, if I like, okay, this is not exactly how I want it, but yeah, see? It's like different. This is what I'm messing with. You know, that's not too bad, but it's, I don't want her thing to look dark. So, let's delete that layer. Okay. Let's see, new correction layer, level correction. Maybe, what happens if I move this? Okay, no. Move this. Makes it brighter. I don't think I need it necessarily brighter. All the shadows are disappearing. Oop. I mean, okay, if I do this, will I make the... Oh gosh. Now she looks like she... Oh wait, hold on. Let me show you what I did. Accidentally did. She kind of looks like she's glowing. You know, actually, that's not too bad. Maybe I could work with that. Because it does get the feeling like, I feel like she's glowing now. She's at the end of her magical girl transformation. Maybe I should make it look like she's at the end of a magical girl transformation with the background or something. You know what? I'm going with this. She's glowing. She's fabulous. That's why she's so smug. She's like, I'm a magical girl. What you gonna do about it? Okay. Well, I didn't get as much done today as I thought, but I think I am going to wrap it up here. Okay. Push this. I'm gonna grab you. You are now mine. It is a little mouse seat. I got the Macy's today. Alright. Yeah, I think that... Oh, I didn't save. Hold on, let me pull up that window again. Okay, now it's safe. I'm like, if I look away from my drawing, I know we need to save. When everyone says, like, digital art is so much easier than traditional, I'm like, yeah, you don't have your computer randomly hiccup and ruin everything. Which is a lot more common than, like, having, like, I don't know, a glass of water spill on all your hard work. Like, that can be still salvageable. When your computer just deletes everything you did, you cannot salvage it necessarily. Thankfully, there are art programs usually have some kind of, like, I guess you would call it an autosave feature, so you can, if it's shortly after you lost it, you can recover what you did. So that's kind of nice. I don't know what technology wizardry went in there, but I certainly appreciate it. I've only had that need to do that once, though. Or was it at all? Actually, no, I only had the prompt for that come up once, and I didn't even want to save the drawing. It was like a sketch I didn't like that I was just having problems with, like, not even like, I know some people have sketches and it looks like finished line artwork kind of sketches until you look at it a little more closely. Not that kind of sketch. I mean, like, I'm just trying to figure out the composition. I guess it'd be the quality what people call thumbnail sketches when they draw their sketches and it looks like finished line work. Seriously, some people are like, oh, it's just a sketch. I'm like, that's finished line work. Just because and then they do, like, it's like, okay, so this is my super rough sketch, and then I do my fixed up sketch, and then I actually do the line work. I'm like, why? It doesn't look all that much different. Some people, I'm like, maybe try just going from your sketch to line work and skipping that middle bit. Or just darken your sketch, or just like clean up some little obvious bits and just draw with your sketch, because I know there's some artists who have been like that and they're like, wow, I didn't really need to do all that other stuff. I've saved so much time. I'm like, yeah, you're really good already with the line stuff. You just kind of go. I mean, I too have sometimes when I'm just trying to sketch and then it ends up being like the very beginning, wherever I started, the sketch is kind of messy, but then everything else looks like finished line work. Then I just clean up that beginning bit, and then I'm like, okay, I guess today the moon and sun have aligned, and I can do just immediately to the line art. Just everything is aligned. Let's go. Anyway, I'm rambling at this point, but I hope today was enjoyable, despite me not doing too much interesting drawing-wise, but hopefully my rambles were mildly interesting. Seriously, look up the Kenny Lauderdale, I think it was. I think there's also like a show of the same name. That confused a friend of mine. I'm like, no, they was called that. It was like his name. But yeah, if you are interested at all in old anime, or well, at this point, it's like 40 to 50-year-old at least anime, you look him up. Because I did talk about a good chunk about him, so I'm like, I'm reminding y'all, look him up. It's the end of the stream. I gotta point people somewhere else to look at now. You need more entertainment? Go over there. Or you can watch one of my other videos. You know, whatever works for you. Shameless plug. Speaking of, if you did like the video, I would appreciate if you left a little like for me. That would be very kind of you. And if you have been liking my videos or want to see more of this kind of stuff, you know, maybe consider subscribing. Again, you don't have to, but, you know, maybe think about it. Maybe you're like, do I want to? Do I want to see more? You know, just take a couple of seconds. Thoughts. If you're good, if you're just like, nah, I'm good. Valid. You do you. Have a good day. And, I guess if you have anything else you want to say to me, you can leave a comment down below. Just be polite. I mean, you can agree to disagree, but just at least be polite. It makes you look better at the very least. You're like, you could have done better at this, but I can see what you did. And I'm like, that's a bit rude, but you're being polite about it. So, you know, like, I'll let it pass. You know, people should have their own opinion. Don't be rude, for crying out loud. Makes you look bad. Anyway, thank you all so much for coming to the live stream or watching the VOD, however you did end up viewing this content. I very much appreciate it. But for now, I must bid you all with fond farewells with a bye-bye! And I hope to see you another time.